Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it.
What's up, Warriors? Welcome back to another episode of 40 Below Zero. We're so glad that you're here. Don't mind Terry. He's having breathing problems. Are you okay, brother?
Yeah, my voice, bro, is going as we're talking.
Oh, no.
I'm trying. I hope this doesn't annoy people.
Don't force the audience to listen to an hour of me, sir. We're going to need your input on this one.
Testing 1, 2.
Boy.
Let's go.
This is it. This is the real Terry. So how'd your infusion go today?
I did the Orcovus infusion. It was good.
Yeah,
I got to see Steve. We got to hang out. Maybe that's why my voice is going.
That's probably it. You spent 3 hours chatting.
Dude, I was so glad to see him. He's so cool. Like, I'm so glad he was on the show. Oh, by the way, remember the last time I was there late and they denied me for the infusion?
Yeah, because of the bus and all that?
The bus did it again last night. I booked the bus an hour early and they say, give us an hour. We'll be there. I booked an hour early. It was like an hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, geez.
I'm going to now about something. I called just to be like, listen, when should I be booking the bus? Because I don't want this to happen again. Should I? And I can't book it an hour and a half before, because if they drop me off at the facility an hour before, dude, that's way too early. They'll even tell me, they might not even be open. They open at 9.
I'm amazed that we're even recording today, because I know how I feel when I'm done my infusions. I'm just done. I just don't want to do anything.
Okay, so when I saw, they did it again. So I called him. I wanted to know, dude, what do I do for next time? Because you guys are stressing me out. Because today I was so close to taking a taxi, which is going to cost me $50.
Phew.
$39.54 American.
Yeah.
So I was going to do that because that's, even the taxis are like, we'll be half an hour. I'm like, because the bus was going to be late again. So this morning I checked the bus to see if I'm going to take a taxi, and the time switched. And now I'm the first person to go somewhere. I'm like, give me a heart attack, dude. So I was there early, glad. I went in there and I looked at the nurse. She's like, come on in, you're here. And as I was rolling to the room, I said, hey, is Steve here? And she laughed. She went, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, and she's like, you guys are so cute. That's what she said. I'm like, he's like, he asked about you too. I'm like, yeah, because we didn't talk. Yo, man, it's because I don't want to bother the guy. I wanted to text him the night before and say, hey, you going? You're going to be there? And, I didn't, because I don't want to bother the guy, because like you, he has a family, so. And then when I got there, I'm like, hey, he's like, hey. And I'm like, I wanted to message you. He's like, me too. I'm like, why didn't you? And he's like, why didn't you? I'm like, man, why are we so stupid sometimes?
Yeah. Unnecessary. Just reach out. But that's funny. Now, I guess the natural question would be, does it motivate you to get the infusion knowing that he's going to be there?
Yes and no, but after today, yes. Because when I got there, he was already in it for an hour, because I got there at 10. He was there at 9. So I looked at him. I'm like, dude, everybody was saying, enjoy your good rest on that Benadryl. You even said it, right? Eh?
Yeah, it's that hospital Benadryl.
Everybody was telling me, because I was like, I'm doing my infusion. They're like, enjoy that Benadryl. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, it's going to make me tired again. So when I got there, I told Steve, I'm like, dude, we don't got to talk, man. I know you're probably tired from your Benadryl, but he was excited that I was there, bro. When
That's
you're
great.
like, I might have annoyed him, but no, he shows it on his sleeve. Like, he's like, yo, I'm so happy you're here.
That's great.
And the nurse is there and she's like in good feelings. She's like, I love this. And because I guess that doesn't happen much,
Well, yeah, because I would imagine, typically people don't have people go with them, or it's typically for me at least, it was a place of small talk, but it wasn't a place of deep connection, because I didn't have someone who was consistently there the same time I was. So I didn't really get into it, and I didn't look forward. And if I saw the same person, I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? And that was the end of it. Believe me, I wish I had somebody that I could be like, yo, tomorrow's the day. You know what I mean? Because it helps. Because it does, give you a reason to go other than the obvious. I mean, we all know we should be there because of the medicine that we need, but like sometimes you're just not feeling it.
The nurse was doing all my, updating my notes and stuff. She's a nurse, right? I'm not insulting anyone when I say nurses. Okay. I don't know why. I feel like sometimes I'm like the nurse and she's like, ah, mate.
Don't overthink it. You're fine.
Thanks.
Yep.
So she was updating my notes and then she's like, so are you okay with this? Do you want to go on the new? And I'm looking at her. I'm like, is she about to offer the new drug to me? The new Archivist 10-minute
injection?
shot? I know it's not, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my mind.
It is.
So no, it's not. I'll
What
tell
is
you what
it?
she told me.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you, maybe it's different. She said the new, the rapid. I'm like, the new medication for Ocrevus? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it was out yet. She's like, oh, it's being out. I'm like, oh, okay. And she started telling me about it. In my head, I was thinking, no, I don't want to go on it because why fix what's not broken? And I get to spend time here with Steve because we're doing it again the next day, next exact same time. So he's happy, I'm happy, so we're good, right?
That's cool.
And dude, we didn't talk the whole time. There was times when he sat back and put his head like this with his.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, chat time's over. So then but the funniest thing is he posted on his Instagram while I was there. And he's like hanging out with my good buddy Terry. And he didn't
That's
tell
awesome.
me. So I'm on my phone. I'm like, so I liked it. And I write back to him. I forgot what I write back. But it was just so funny.
It's adorable, Terry.
In the 90s or early 2000s.
But it does help. So how do you feel, I guess, is the question, seeing as how you just got it a couple hours ago?
Katrina said I looked really white. My voice is, look, it came back. It's better. Test is better.
All right, here we go. Good. Now we can start the show. Welcome back,
Nice,
everybody. No.
nice. Yeah, but no, I feel fine. I know maybe it's the prednisone. Maybe it's that I took my modafinil today.
It's the drugs talking.
I feel fine. I won't lie to you. But
Good.
I was having severe crap gap.
Yeah, you were.
This is the first time I felt it, and yeah. And did I tell you I got the reason of why we get crap gaps? And then you, unless you know, then you can break it down and fix my terminology. Okay, so when you do your infusion, I edit.
You should leave that in.
When we do infusion, because you said it, I'm going to. You know what I mean? And then people are like, oh, because of the infusion, they put the drugs in you to attack certain B cells, right? And these B cells they're attacking are the cells that are causing the inflammation. And the inflammation causes us to be tired because the wires are really trying to get through. Inflammation slowing it down. So the drugs that we're taking is attacking the cells that is in contact with this inflammation, whatever. I know I sound silly. So when this happens, they're attacking the inflammation. So I'm not as fatigued. And then when this medication runs out, that's when it's back to attacking the inflammation. And that's when I start to get tired because I was coasting.
Yep. You're exactly right.
I'm like, oh my God, I have so much energy. And it's like, no, you don't. This is you coasting.
Yeah, this is you.
And then the fatigue, you were like, whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're exactly right. That's why we run out of medicine.
And I was fatigued everywhere. Like my bladder was weaker.
Yeah.
And I felt it.
So that brings up the point a lot of us ask, how do we know the medication's working? I feel normal. Do I really have to take this? Like everything feels fine. The answer is that's how you know the medicine's working, is because of the crap gap, because you're out of it. So if you didn't have it, that's how you would feel.
Yeah. Hopefully the advantages are way more than disadvantages, dude.
So far, so good, right? I mean,
I won't lie to you. I hear so many different stories and I'm still doing it.
Yeah. That's one of the problems with the internet is there's too much out there, including us. I mean, we're part of it, but ours is not
with other people.
Yeah.
Though, right?
Ours is, what we do, but there's a lot of info out there. And you're right. Who do you trust? Do you trust your doctor? Sure. Of course you should. Do you trust the pharmacist? Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Should you trust TikTok? Probably not.
Don't say that. There's a lot of good people on TikTok.
There is, but should that be the source?
I'm not talking about the reels. I don't go by
Yeah.
reels and some guy's like, listen up, this is what you should do. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking, we connect like Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
So one day you're gonna have to show your face, bro, and meet some of our friends.
Yeah. One of these, so they think you haven't been talking to an AI chatbot for 6 years.
Yeah, I say that. I'm like, that's AI.
Nick is a
That's
real
good.
person. That's why I'm excited to eventually meet you, Terry, because I got to make sure that you're not the AI chatbot I've been talking to for 6 years.
AI sent you hats and shit?
Yeah, man. You don't know, man.
Maybe. Yo, did you check the inside of the lining of the hat? I put a microphone in there.
Is that what it is?
The battery's dead. You got to replace it for me. You got to check.
This is the original unlogo hat. This is just a straight up orange hat. The one with the logo is.
I was talking
in
about the logoed one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there. I don't wear that because I knew the microphone was in it, and I don't want you listening to my conversations, you creep. My phone does enough listening in all my life, Terry.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's why it is important to use trusted sources of information for your info for all your medical things.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Of course.
well, I'm glad you're feeling okay enough to do the show tonight. It's different. We usually record in the middle of the day, but here we are at nighttime because somebody had to go and get an infusion today.
I didn't tell you ahead of time because I didn't want you to
didn't.
say, no, you can't do that on the same day. I'm like, yeah, I can. And I did it.
No one's holding you down, Terry. Look at that. There it is. Should have healed by now. You should have taken that bandage off. What did they do to you?
I did. You see the bandit?
No, it's your shirt. Okay, it's your shirt. Let's talk to another member of our community. Would you say Tyson?
Yeah.
Another MSer who let's talk art and music because two of my favorite things. Bring him in. Welcome to the show, Tyson. So glad you're here with us. Good to meet you. Terry's been talking a lot about you. Another member of our MS family and our community that gets bigger here in 40 Below Zero. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yo, first of all, your hair. How many times do I say this? Let me just get out of the way. Love your hair, bro. Yo,
Thank
I love my beard. And I was in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm the coolest guy here. This guy rolls in, and then I'm like, yo, that guy's so cool, bro. And then I cut my hair because I'm like, it'll never be like that. But the beard I kept to shame you. So what's going on, bro? I'm so glad you're here. Finally, you're part of the family, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
I did my Archivist infusion today, just so you know.
Wow. How are you feeling?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Not a big deal. But I didn't want to miss this.
No,
so
I'm glad it all
I'm
worked
glad
out. Yeah, that's a long day for sure. Yeah.
Are you on infusion?
No, I took a couple DMTs early on in my progression, and I just kept on getting worse. Yeah, the any sign of relapsing remitting disappeared for me long ago. And they told me I was secondary progressive I was diagnosed in 2006, and probably by 2010, I was secondary progressive, and there was no coming and going anymore. It was here.
So the big question that I would ask then is, tell me about your mindset. How hard of a hit was that when they were like, oh, it's not what we thought it was, and now it's this other thing?
It was just, imaginary labels, I guess, them talking about like my life was affected with this thing, and it took away my career. I was playing bass professionally with different groups, kind of freelance, worked on cruise ships, worked with lots of different types of bands and stuff. Yeah. And then my left hand started going numb. I played bass and couldn't feel my hand anymore. And I didn't tell anyone. I was diagnosed for, only certain people knew for a few years. And then it got to the point where I had to tell people, got worse. And yeah, probably by, I don't know, 2000, within a few years, I couldn't play bass anymore, basically. So I couldn't hold up the bass. My dexterity went on my left hand. Yeah. So it was the left side for me was intense at first. And that's what happened.
Was there ever a time when you played bass and you were messing up? Or did you stop before that time?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It was more like I could still play for a while. I tried really hard. I had people bring out stools. I had, yeah, people helped load in my gear every night. Okay, well, and it got to the point where just the weight of, the air was too much for my left hand, right? It just, dexterity and things were going. So, it was more, yeah, it just got really difficult to even hold my hand anywhere near, for, things I didn't think about before. And all of a sudden I had to think really hard about them. Yeah.
So again, did you mess up at all in front of people? Because that's real. No,
Messing
that's
up,
real. That's like, oh shit, sorry, I have
I
MS. You
guess
know what I
more
mean?
or less it's like, it, I was still a good bass player, but I wasn't as good, I guess, right? As I wasn't where I
Okay.
wanted to
Okay.
be, right? It was, I could
Okay.
get by, but then it got to the
Yeah.
point where I couldn't play anymore. So yeah.
Especially when you're on a cruise ship, you have to play like what, twice a day, every day for 6 months in a row or something like that. Like what's
Yeah,
it's
and
like
I
really
was diagnosed with MS, and yeah, we had sets every day, and when I was on the ships, but I didn't tell anyone at that point. There were minor fatigue things going on, maybe that were hindering me, but I could still do the gig and get off the ship and go to the beaches and do all that stuff, and I'm glad I got to do it. But yeah,
Maybe you should take up the the drums up there. See it?
nice. Yeah, yeah. I seen all the djembes, right? Is that?
The
Yeah,
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 yeah.
they're the gem. Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
Don't
man.
show off,
Awesome.
bro.
Yeah,
Don't show
that
off.
was a pivot for me because when my legs went, playing the drum set's out of the question. So I'd always been involved with world music, world percussion, and it just really focused in on that because I'm like, well, if I can't use my legs anymore, at least I can still play, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. I went a few years without playing anything, and then I think it started just fooling around on a tablet with one of those piano emulators with my right hand, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of something. And then a friend got me a keyboard, and yeah, I've been playing keyboards every day ever since. So, but I just play with my dominant hand, which is my right hand. Yeah.
Why do you ruin it, man? Let me tell everyone that.
Yeah, but you know what though? If you don't
I have to
play,
tell you the story.
playing playing an instrument, whether it's a hobby or a career, you not only do you think about it all the time, you want to do it all the time. So not being able to, it's just brutal. So you got to
Yeah.
find some way to get back to it. So
So
I'm
this
glad
guy
you did.
posts on Facebook, hey, I'm going to not to me, like just to let everyone know if you want to come, I'm going to be playing here. And usually it's in Stratford. If you say Stratford to anybody, I'm sorry, but they're always like, ooh, Stratford's like supposed to be a really niche city because it's where theaters are played. My school took us there at least once a year. Like it's a really, classy town. Okay. So he's always playing at a bar somewhere there. And it's about an hour away from us, I think, maybe less. And every time I'm like, I'm going to try to go. I'm going to try to go. And you know me, man, to leave my home is. But nowadays I'm really pushing myself. So we went to the bar that he was playing at, really classy bar. I love it. And Katrina loves it because Katrina's into jazz. So she was happy. And he had two of his
It
crew
was trio that
was
night.
there.
Yeah, it was trio, bass and drums. Yeah.
And we were watching. We had a good time, bro. We had good food. It seemed like everyone knew them because it was just a lot of attention towards them. So I'm like, oh, did this guy invite everybody? Like, is this his crew? Like,
He knew you were
but
coming. He
dude,
stacked the room with his friends.
it
Yeah.
was beautiful, bro. And Katrina just not even talking to me. She's like, you got to record this. And she's just doing her own thing as she always does. And afterwards, I meet him at Parkwood. I'm like, bro, you're so good. And I'm like, what happened? What'd you change from guitar to piano? He's like, yeah, my left hand doesn't work. So I'm like, so how do you play the piano? He's like, with my right hand. Dude, I looked at him like, get out of here with your right hand. I went back to the video and I analyzed it. And I'm like, it is one hand because you only see the right hand because it's from the right side. You play with one hand. I couldn't even tell. I mean, if you really listen, you start to realize, oh, maybe, but it's not, obvious at all. And that was just amazing, bro. And then I told Katrina, she's like, get out of here. No one noticed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I find I've been, doing gigs periodically, for the last few years, and I find it takes people like about 3 times or so to see me, and then they figure it out, kind of thing, right? Like they don't figure it out right away because people are just having a good time. They're not looking at things too much, and with the trio, especially that night, it really helps with having a really good bass player to play too, right? And then it all just fits in, right? Yeah.
How smashed did you get that night? Because everybody bought you drinks.
I behave myself these days. Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple drinks and I'm good. I'm good, So yeah.
Let me know when you do the next one too, please.
Yeah, yeah. I got some dates I was gonna plug or whatever. I'm back at the Starlight on August 2nd. It's a Sunday, so back there with the trio on August 2nd. And then I'm doing a
Nice.
duo gig at a place called Birch and Wyn in Stratford, also downtown, and it's a little wine bar. And I'm doing a duo gig there June 13th. It's a Saturday night. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on those.
With one of the guys, you're doing a duo with one of the
Yeah,
guys that I met already.
I'm gonna bring a percussionist with me for that one. Yeah,
Oh,
like
cool.
I've done some solo gigs, places too in town, and they go over well, or duo gigs. I like to mix it up. Maybe have a guitar player with me, maybe have a percussionist, and yeah, it still works well. But yeah, but I checked this place out late and this Birch and Wyn, and I was yeah, happily surprised. They have a lift on the side to get anybody up to the main level, and then another elevator inside to get you down to the cafe. And it's a very modern, renovated building, and yeah, very cool place. Basically, it's a cafe, coffee spot, during the week, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturdays they put a curtain up, and it turns into the wine bar. So yeah,
That's cool.
That makes
Cool.
life nice when it's accessible.
yeah, yeah.
You mentioned that you were on Ocrevus until you were getting worse.
No, no, I never made it to Orcovus. I took
Oh,
a
okay.
Rebif was my first one, and
Okay.
that was terrible. And then I took Copaxone, and that was terrible as well. And I just kept getting worse. And then I made the decision after my own research that I was not going to take another one until something came out that was, I don't know, tempted me, I guess, let's say it, right? So yeah. But I have heard you guys talk about that, and I get that a lot of people are on Orcovus, and that's great. And Nick, right? You mentioned Tysabri. I remember researching Tysabri. That was the only one I ever seen researching back in the day that there was major things, improvements going on with people with MS taking it. But like I believe Terry had mentioned, I was in that category of like, oh yeah, well, like the brain leukemias can happen, and they hadn't fixed that whole kind of screening for it yet or whatever they did. And yeah, I wasn't gonna jump on board at the time, but yeah, I've seen some miraculous things happen with that drug for sure.
Yeah, it was Tysabri was interesting. I was on it for about 5 years. And honestly, being very honest, it was the most scared that I ever was on a DMT. I was like the constant blood work that you needed, every 90 days you're getting blood work to make sure your JC levels aren't going up. I'm like, man, what is the so I didn't know if I needed it at that point. I was just talking to Terry that about his infusion today. It was like, am I as bad as how bad am I? Do I need this? Like, what's the risk versus the benefit of being on this drug that has a super high risk factor? But then because of the way things shook out during the pandemic and my doctor leaving the hospital without telling anybody, there was a 3-month gap where I just abruptly stopped Tysabri, and I had a rebound incident where I had the worst flare up I'd ever had, even since being diagnosed. So after that, I was like, no, I'm not going back on this drug anymore. If this is how it acts when you miss one, or well, in my case, I missed 3, but
Yeah.
I'm like, this is too scary. I can't go on this one. So I kind of hung out for a while and didn't take any until I found Ocrevus.
Y-
So yeah,
y-
Tysabri it was rough, man.
And from what I've researched, quite a few people that are on Tysabri eventually become to the point where they can't take it anymore, can't tolerate it, or are
Yeah.
guided to
Yeah.
get off of it or something after so long, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really felt like it was like the Wild West. Like I really felt like I was on the forefront of medication when I was taking that. I'm like, man, these doctors don't even know what they're telling. Like they're like, well, we
Yeah.
think it's going to do this. We hope. Like I don't know about that, man. I want the drug that says, oh, this like the reason why Copaxone is so prevalent is because it's been around forever. So everyone goes, yep, this one's been tolerated. This is where we start. You know what I mean? So, but
What,
yeah, I'm glad I'm not taking it.
when you say it doesn't go with you, do you mean by flu-like symptoms?
Well, like I know my MS just kept on getting worse, right? I kept on getting more disabled and more disabled, right? Like
So
that.
okay.
And as well as the medication itself side effects. Like, yeah, I remember doing like playing festivals out east and stuff, and you'd have to put the syringes in a fridge there, right? And find a fridge to put it in and all that stuff. It was no fun. And yeah, I just kept on getting worse, basically.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. So it's I find I'm pretty stable now, like to a point, like I don't have any too bad of fluctuations and stuff, but I've kind of done my own thing to do that, I think, and plus there's a lot of research done. Doctors will talk about the 20-year mark right after you've had MS for 20 years. It can kind of calm somewhat, basically, is um, which a few medical people have told me after 20 years it can kind of calm. And I don't know that I've done, like, did you guys do the CCSVI thing? I don't know if you guys did that. Yeah, I went to Bangalore, India and had that treatment in 2010 or 11. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Please explain.
No, he does. He just you put CCVI. It was the
The CCSVI,
Doppler
yeah.
test.
Yeah, chronic
CCSVI, the
cerebral
Doppler test.
spinal
Yo,
insufficiency. What's that?
Nick, it's the people were going. A doctor. His name was
Zam
Paul Zamboni. Whatever.
Paulo.
He was Italian,
Paulo. Yeah.
and his wife. Oh, thank you. Did I say what did I say?
I think it's Paolo Zamboni, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Italian doctor. Yeah.
Okay, his wife had MS, and he put stents in it. Okay, these two veins here, bro. He said
Oh,
they're
that's right.
clogged.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
I
So he put
remember that
stents
now.
to
He did
whatever. So
research on
people were
like
doing
100
it,
people with MS, and he found really good
and
results, giving everyone angioplasty, like they were having improvements. So
yeah.
therefore, a lot of people with MS wanted it done. The Canadian government shut it down, said, we're not doing this, has to be 4 years of trials. So then the doctors helped MS patients in Canada anyways do medical tourism. So my choices were to go to Poland or go to India to get it done. So I ended up going to India. Yeah. And I'm glad I did it, but I think it's early research as well. And I was hoping it was going to be a cure and I'd be walking again, but it didn't really work that way. It helped with some fatigue and cognitive issues for sure. Colors were brighter actually after they did the angioplasty,
Wow.
things you don't even think about. And
Yo, that's
but
pretty cool, man.
it was by no means, it wasn't like I was walking around the block after, but it did something. Like blood flow to the brain can't hurt, So
Yeah, right.
yeah,
First of all, you have nerve damage, so it's not repairing nerve damage. So
yeah,
maybe it is
exactly,
like,
yeah. But again, even after that, I had a bad attack after that year, a few years later, and ended up in the hospital for like 3 months, So that was the last real bad attack I had around 2015 or something. And yeah, so who knows with this?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like the medication slows down the inevitable, but it's going to do what it's going to do,
Yeah, you got to make your own choices and do what you got to do. One thing I have found in the last few years that the only thing that I've ever treatment that I've tried that I can notice some help is oxygen therapy. So I do oxygen therapy. Like if you Google it, yeah, in the UK, oxygen therapy is an approved treatment or an approved, I don't know if they call it a treatment, it's approved for MS and they have MS centers, they call them in the UK. And if you have MS, you can either get a discount or get oxygen therapy for free. And yeah, I do some sessions. I have a little unit in my apartment and I do some sessions and I've definitely noticed some improvements, Yeah.
So, so you're talking about like a hyperbaric chamber? Is that what you're talking about? Like that kind of a thing?
I looked into that, but that would be like you'd have to go where
Or-
they have one, pay $2,000, and then once that down, you pay $250 a pop. So there's a doctor in BC that he says the next best thing is these little home units, and then you can take your own oxygen. So someone did a GoFundMe, got that, and yeah, it's helped a lot with fatigue. It's helped. Um, you have bladder issues, those are some of the things they talked about improvements, and it really did help that. Like I can sleep through the night again. It had been 10 years before I could sleep through the night at all, and now I can
Yo,
sleep through the whole
man.
night, and I don't have to get up in the middle of the night anymore. Yeah.
Hey, is it the same thing? I know it's not oxygen, but I have a friend that does hydrogen. He has a tank, the nose thing plugged in, and it's hydrogen.
Yeah, you have to ask. And he has MS or
Yeah, yeah. A pharmacist gave him this machine. I don't know. I'm gonna ask him
interesting.
again. Are
Yeah.
you sure it's
Well,
not
it's
oxygen?
it's it's not an approved therapy or treatment in Canada at all. So you're not going to find much information on it in Canada, but UK has approved it for years, and there's a lot of testimonial videos and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. I use that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it, man, and see how easily available it is.
Yeah, I guess what the big breakthrough with it was that you used to see people with the little wheels with the oxygen tanks, and they cart that behind them, right? Well, those are obsolete now. So the units now just plug into a wall. They used to say, "Oh, don't crank your oxygen because you'll waste it all or whatever." No, now it's crank it as much as you want because it just plugs into a wall and there's no tanks.
Okay, cool.
So to answer your question, Terry, I just did a quick little search on that. It says hydrogen therapy is an emerging experimental approach for managing multiple sclerosis that primarily focuses on reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. While largely based on animal studies and preliminary research, early findings suggest that molecular hydrogen may help protect nerve cells and improve symptoms like fatigue and brain fog. So not approved yet, but it's on the edge.
He got his machine from a pharmacist because his pharmacist liked him and they were friends. So now it makes sense because I'm like, I don't know
Interesting.
where you got it from. He didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I'll have
it's
to
good
read
that I
more about that one.
good Tyson. I'm so glad you're here to witness me educating Nick today.
This rarely happens on an episode. Is that what you're saying?
It's very true. He often references Dr. Nick.
Nice.
Because when I got diagnosed, I spent a large amount of time researching everything, and not just on a Google search level, like actually
Yo, what do you
peer
say?
reviewed, like literature. Because I had free time. I had just come from an investigative background, and I had free time. So what would I normally do, right? I just do what you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I'm sure we all did online looking for cures and trying to, yeah, find something, trying to find a loophole about this thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, man. I'm so glad I met you because you motivate me to be there and work on myself too, man.
I moved back to Stratford about 10 years ago, and then it was closer to London. So I went to a neurologist in London instead of Hamilton, where I lived before. And and I told her I wanted to start going to a gym. And she's like, her words were literally, Tyson, I don't have MS patients that want to go to the gym. Those were her words. And then she said, if you really want to, I'll write you in it. I'll get you in at Parkwood or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I would like to do that. Drive to London once or twice a week and go to a gym, something I can do. And there was one person there with MS, and that was it. Like the first, I think I was there for 4 years, and that was it. It was just me and her. And then now there's a few of us at least, that it's restarted in the new area and stuff. Yeah.
Now, do you do the FBS bikes like Terry does?
No, I haven't done the FES bikes yet. I've been looking into it, and I usually just do there's like a new step. Do you know what that is? Kind of, it's almost like a recumbent bike for disabled people. So you're sitting
Okay.
down, there's arms and legs, your legs are tied in. And I do that one, mostly pulling my legs along with my arms, but using some of the strength in my legs. And then I use the standing frame a lot, or arm bike. Um, um, there's a few other machines I use too. Yeah.
It's fascinating to me, Terry, that no matter how many guests we have on this show, just how many people got into fitness and working out after the MS diagnosis. You know what I mean? Like so many people we talk to were like, I was never really a gym guy, but then once I got MS, I'm in the gym every week,
Yeah. Yeah.
Silver linings, I guess.
Yeah.
Real, man. What we go through is real. It shifts our mind.
Yeah. So do
For
you go to the
sure.
gym, Nick, or you got a gym at home, or what do you do?
I have not seen the inside of the gym in about 15 years, but I definitely work out every day. I do calisthenics and that kind of stuff. I do the 5-pound weights and I do what I can, to conserve as much energy as I need to for the rest of the day. But I was in gyms way more than before the diagnosis than after,
Right.
but it's just amazing. It's just not on a lot of people's radar until they get sick, you know? So sick in quotes.
Well, a lot of people with MS too, it's pretty hard. Like we have friends at the gym that, yeah, it's pretty tough for them. They need a team of people to get them up and rolling, right? So yeah.
Do you want to take a guess? This is quiz the guest. I want to know. Do you know what Nick used to do?
I'll
I
give you a
did.
hint.
I watched a few episodes,
It's right back here.
No, you can't.
what was it, a firefighter or was it something
Part
like
of it.
I want to.
Yeah,
a paramedic?
I was a public servant. I did all three: police, fire, and EMS.
Oh, okay, all three. Okay, because I knew it was something like that. Okay, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
And so you have to be, if you're gonna, in my opinion, if you're gonna be, good at it, you got to stay fit. So, I mean, even though I was not healthy, I was still fit, if that makes sense. I was a pack and a half day a smoker and a heavy drinker. But I was working out constantly and I was in great shape.
Yeah,
Inside, I was a train wreck.
yeah.
So
Are
now,
you still
you know,
are you still able to walk at all now? Or
oh yeah, yep.
okay,
Yep.
wow. That's
I'm what they call an ambulatory wheelchair user. So I can walk a little. There's a lot of days. I don't want to say a lot, but there's many days where I don't need any devices to help me. And then there's a lot of days where I can't get out the door without my rollator that gets me to my wheelchair, which gets me through the rest of my day.
wow.
So it's very frustrating because you don't know
Y-
what day you're going to
It's
have.
yeah, we have a hard time making plans in general, people with MS, right? It's tough
Yep.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yep. I feel like we should do more of those, what are those TikToks where like, we have MS. Of course we cancel plans, That's the hardest part. So have you run into a situation where you had to bail on a gig because of your fatigue?
Oh,
Everything's just kind of worked out where I've had to do, because it comes up, and I've had to do gigs where I'm like, oh boy, I got maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. This is going to be interesting. And because basically for me to do a gig, I have to have everyone help me out anyways. I can't move a keyboard. I can't move any gear. I have to get help, and it gets set up. So I haven't missed a gig yet because of it, but I really do think the oxygen therapy is actually adding benefit to that situation. So yeah. Yeah.
And
But yeah,
like you said, more oxygen to the brain can't hurt, right?
yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I've heard of this before from someone else. I can't remember who, but not oxygen therapy, but we have a lack of oxygen to our brain. That's what I heard from someone. Or the blood is not carrying enough oxygen to our brain. Or that's the same thing, maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I heard that.
it would be related to all that CCSVI stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like it would be related to that.
Tyson, man, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys invited me on. Yeah, I enjoy watching the episodes.
One of the things
Yo,
we like to
respect.
ask our guests is, what's your mantra? What keeps you going? Like, what would you share to other people to say, hey, look, this thing sucks, but
You just gotta look for something that you can still hang on to, right? Like I get up every day to sit at the piano and practice music and do some gigs occasionally or jam with friends, and that keeps me going. So yeah, just being able to be independent and stuff. Like I went full hand controls in my van during COVID, and it's been a major improvement on my life. It just makes everything easier. So yeah.
yeah, music will do it, man. It'll pull you through for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it falls into the people of determination.
Yeah.
So I'm tired and my voice is going. Is that from Archivist? And I am scared of Archivist. Between you and I hear stories, people having bad effects, and people, like real people, not just media.
It's I get it, and I get why people do it too, because MS is scary, and what else, like it's you're trying something, right? So
But I'll reiterate what Terry was saying. It was wonderful to meet you. Thank you for coming on and sharing another point of view, because not a lot of people that we talk to are seeking alternatives to pharmaceuticals. So it's good to hear that, yes,
Well,
you can do
yeah,
okay not
yeah.
on
Like
a
I
DMT.
haven't had any new lesions in years and years and years, and I don't know. I don't know why that is, but
Good meeting you, dude. Appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your
aw-
story. And
yeah. Sounds
keep in
good, man.
touch. Good
Awesome.
luck with those
Thank.
gigs.
All right. Take it easy.
What a cool dude, man. It's always good to hear that. Well, first of all, I'm glad to hear that he didn't have to give up on his music. He found a different way to keep it going. That really makes me happy. Um, because that losing the ability to do that is the same as losing the ability to play a sport, is the same as the ability to have a job. It really just sucks.
Is that what you call a musical genius? When you can play and then learn on some app piano and then all of a sudden play the piano?
Sure,
And he's like, that's crazy, man.
sure.
It's like,
I will say that for the musicians that I know in my life, they can go from instrument to instrument because it was described to me as, once you know how to read the music, it's just a
yeah,
matter of figuring out how to physically manipulate the different instrument. You see what I'm saying?
I do
So
see what you're saying.
it's but I don't know how to read music like that. I can read rhythms, but I can't read notes and all that stuff.
I
It
can.
just doesn't work for me. I've tried so many times. I have to
Yeah.
I have to get to the preschool course where they walk you through it like you're 5 years old just to get it
Yeah. Well,
started.
I know the 5-year-old version. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So,
Like I know where the C is and the D and
right,
the E where it's,
right. So, but but still, it's more about like the not giving up. You know what I mean? Like the being like, because it doesn't matter what it is. When MS takes something you love, if you can shift to doing something else that's still kind of the same, which is in this case exactly the same. He's still playing music. It's just with a different instrument and in a different fashion and one-handed.
and his bandmates are like, you're good. Let's go. They're not
Right.
like, you're going
Exactly.
to make us sound bad.
Right.
No,
Right.
it's
He
amazing.
found
Yeah.
people that, want to help and recognize. Look, and that's what we all hope for, right? People in our lives who who don't mind hauling the gear for us, setting up the equipment, like those people. Those are the people you need to bring into your life, and not hang on to the people that don't or won't. That's your old life.
You know,
So
when you would watch Full House and you get that lesson in the end of Full House,
yeah,
I kind of feel the same way sometimes. I'm like, oh, we're wrapping it up, guys.
my brain's done, man. It's late.
I'm done.
You're way done. But I'm glad you pulled through. I'm glad we were able to do it.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you for putting in the effort. I appreciate you putting in the effort to record an episode today. Again, thanks to our audience who keeps coming back week after week. We really appreciate you. All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, bro. Later. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4, the letter T, below zero.com. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. And if you don't want to email us, no problem. We're on Instagram as @40belowzero. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk soon.